So one of the big games on the opening weekend of the Premier League season sees the Red Rose of Lancashire take on the White Rose of Yorkshire. Yet we love it. It's a big one for these two sides. Manchester United against Leeds United at Old Trafford. Leeds had a great season last year under their manager Marcelo Bielsa, and their fans are hoping for more, maybe even a European push. And we know what the Manchester United fans are hoping for: a challenge for the Premier League title at the minimum. And that means not just second place, but closer, very close in terms of points. If not, of course, win it for the first time since 2013. Is it possible, James? Do you think they can do it?
Well, this is a scary starting point, isn't it, for our journey this season, Hugh? Because we're going to be talking about Man United a lot. Of course, you're a Man United fan. So what we kind of say now, I think we have to sort of stick by as the season goes on. And as I was kind of thinking about Man United and the idea of a challenge for the title, I think you're right in that word that you used in saying challenging for that at the minimum is what we should be expecting from Man United. I think myself in particular probably have been quite kind to Man United and to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, kind of going, oh, look, I can see the development. There's some young players here, but a lot of those young players have now developed into real stars. You know, you look at Luke Shaw on that left-hand side, for example, Rashford, of course, Mason Greenwood's getting better. That mix between that and then spending that money, going and getting Sancho, having Bruno Fernandes, and of course, how wonderful he was last season. And now Varane looks like, at time of recording, it's not official, but I think we know that signing is coming through the door. So I think there's a real pressure on Man United this season to step up. And I think previously it was the concern was with the playing staff. I think now the concern strongly moves towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because when we're looking at our predictions and looking at that four teams, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Manchester United, there are different elements in play when you're thinking about how well they're going to do. One, of course, is the squad depth. I think Man United have that squad depth now. Another thing, of course, is maybe the cycle of the squad itself and the energy that you can have. I think Man City, more so maybe Liverpool are at the end of that. But for Man United, they're not. They haven't achieved those things. So the hunger should be there for sure. And then the final thing is the manager. When you look at Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is moving in those circles. And he's been able to bat away a few things with conservative, I would say at times, tactics. This season with the squad that they've got, you're right. There is no excuse. You've got your right winger now. You've still got Edison Cavani, who was brilliant last season. Pogba looks like he's staying for the season. From a neutral's point of view, there truly is pressure on them this season, and they need to start well. And this is a tough game for them to go into straight off the bat. Hugh, how do you feel, as a Manchester United fan?
Well, I can predict a change in style because the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has come out and said he wants to play 4-3-3. So he's done my job for me in terms of predicting that. The only thing that I would say about that is Manchester United do not have an elite holding midfielder. So if they want to play that system and they want to win the Premier League, that is a huge pivot in terms of a player on the ball who can get about the park, who can make tackles, who can win it back, but also start plays for you. A great passer, someone with vision. We are talking about an elite player, and other clubs have had that in the Premier League. We've spoken about Declan Rice of West Ham in the past, 80, 90. I think David Moyes said today, £100 million, he still wouldn't sell him. Manchester United might need to be in for a player like that. I know Eduardo Camavinga was a player that was spoken about earlier on in the summer. Young player, still developing, hasn't gone to a huge club in European football as yet. Could he deal with the pressure if he were to sign for Manchester United, which is still, of course, a big if. And for me, I enjoyed watching, and I know it's Manchester United Leeds, and it's an interesting time to make this point, but Calvin Phillips for England during the Euros, I thought was sensational. And I actually think could feel that responsibility. I know Manchester United fans would say, well, hold a minute, there's not much difference between him and Scott McTominay, but I actually think he's more aggressive around the park. His use of the ball is better as well for me. And I think he could be, and the Leeds fans would hate me saying this, but I think he would be a great acquisition for Manchester United. Now, whether he as a Leeds boy would want to play for a big rival in the shape of Manchester United is another story. But I think even at this point in time, the Leeds United fans would say it's still a step up in his career to go and play Champions League football, and for a club that big, as tough as it would be to see him go. And I think that's the sort of player, an English talent that's in his mid-20s, who's got a bit of experience, but pushing on to the next level, United should look to bring in. I think he's probably better on the ball than someone like Declan Rice. So, yeah, I think, look, they could change style and it could help them, but they'd still need to do a little bit of recruitment.
I wonder if there could be a bit of a shock here, because I think that style of Leeds going into this game, in a derby game like this, could be very, very difficult. And you've got a squad there of players that have had a whole preseason in terms of the signings. You've got Junior Firpo is going to be really interesting, and Jack Harrison, who was essentially their player already. So I think there's a shock in this one, Hugh. Do you think?
I mean, Manchester United have played okay in their last couple of preseason games. I don't think they're going to have their best side out for this game. Let's be perfectly honest. I still don't know if Varane will make the pitch, and I think he definitely gets into their best 11. And he's the sort of player that could make a huge impact over the course of the season, as could Jadon Sancho. Well. Exactly. There are players missing for Manchester United. By the way, I'm livid with Manchester United over the Marcus Rashford situation. There's absolutely no way he should have been playing at the Euros if he needed surgery. There's no way the player should be making the decision themselves about whether they play in the Euros. You don't pay him over £200,000 a week to play for England, with all due respect. He should be fit and ready to go for the start of this season, because at the end of last season, playing through injury for so long, they should have got him straight on the operating table. But that's another story. Look, I do think what you're saying is right. Leeds United will probably go into this maybe in a bit of better shape. But I think Manchester United at home, having the fans back, so many of them inside Old Trafford, they will go for it. They should go for it. It should be the sort of day that sets the tone for them for the rest of the season, to go and beat Leeds United. The fans will be absolutely delighted with it, and to do it in style. I just don't think it will be maybe their best performance, but I certainly think they should aim for it, because that's what the fans want, and they do need to send a message. Whether it comes against Leeds United, maybe I'm being slightly, unfair to them and their talents, is another story. But certainly you'd hope that a comfortable win at home on the opening day would set you up for saying Old Trafford as a fortress is what it should be and probably could be over the shape of this season. So I think Man United will win the game. I don't know, 3-1, something like that. But I'm intrigued to see who starts the game and who performs well. What do you think?
Do you know what I think? If you look at last season and some of the points that were dropped at the start of the season for Manchester United, I fear that the same could happen this year, with a game like this. I see Leeds getting a draw in this game. I think, yes, of course, the fans will roar Man United on, but I don't think they're completely ready for the season. I think Leeds United are. And I think that Rashford situation and the sort of loss of that, because he is an integral player for the football club, let alone the sort of starting 11. I think the first quarter of the season, Man United will look back at the end of it and go, we've made some real mistakes there, and that might have cost us the title this season. Hi guys, James Alcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.